Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Parkside Cabin Rentals. These folks still open for business, and what better way to social distance than a cabin getaway in the Smokies? As they told me this week, if you're going to quarantine, why not do it with a 500,000-acre backyard? No better way to do it. Parkside Cabin Rentals, the Ogle family's been the kings of hospitality in the Smoky Mountains since it was a national park. Literally, since the day it became a national park, they've been doing this stuff. Parkside Cabin Rentals, parksideCabinRentals.com. All right, Jeremy Pruitt lost a key member of his staff this week. Craig Fitzgerald is leaving Tennessee to join Joe Judge, the new head coach of the New York Giants, getting back to the NFL after his first 2 years here at Tennessee. This will either be the 9th or 10th strength coach in the last 13 years, which is just amazing to think. Not a single, if you break it down that way, I don't think there's a class, mathematically there couldn't be, a class that has had the same guy for its entire run at UT. So first of all, Craig Fitzgerald, so many people had great things to say about him. You've been on one program. Your thoughts on losing him? How big of an impact?
Well, I think it's significant. Look, every strength and conditioning coach that's hired, there's always that excitement that this is the guy, right?
Right.
Well, we actually saw the impact on the field, not just in guys getting bigger, stronger, faster, which you did see with this roster, but then you also saw it really translate onto performance of players and development of players. I think he's different, and so I think he's going to be difficult to replace. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. I just think this guy is a little bit more significant than maybe some of the others that you always turn the page on and say, well, this guy's going to be just as good. I think Fitzgerald is pretty special.
Yeah, you can just go back to Jeremy Pruitt's comments last week talking about Craig Fitzgerald staying at Tennessee after Tennessee's first spring practice. When Jeremy Pruitt met with the media, he was talking about Craig Fitzgerald staying and the significance, and also doing that in a way to brag about other schools coming after Craig Fitzgerald and not getting him, maybe Alabama being one of those schools. Now Tennessee has to replace him. This is a time of I don't know answers, right? I don't know what is the significance of the players being away, and they're not actually with the strength staff, so you're going to have a shorter time to get ready for the start of the season. I wouldn't think that's a good thing, but Tennessee needs continuity, as you were talking about, with the lack of that with
the lack of continuity.
With the lack of continuity. But if they promote from within, the program likely stays the same. That's something that I would think that could help. But then you have, again, the unknown with a new head strength coach compared to Craig Fitzgerald, who's so respected.
I don't know. Promoting from within worked for Butch Jones. I'm just kidding.
And then it didn't.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I do think, though, I was surprised that Craig Fitzgerald took a job when he did. In this environment, it just seems like everything's kind of willy-nilly right now. I don't know that I'd be saying, okay, I'm going to go over here. You don't know what's out there right now. So I was surprised he took a job. I think it would be difficult to go out and hire someone in this environment. Maybe you're wrong considering what UT pays, but I think it'd be difficult.
You just talked about the financial impact. I mean, is that a factor?
Does that weigh into it? But I think that I think you hit it. If it's me, you're going to have a short off season. You want to keep guys, I would think, in the same program. I would look at promoting from within.
Yeah,
Vince, is that where they're going to go, you think?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Jeremy Pruitt does have some guys in mind on the staff. Look, I'm sure Craig Fitzgerald had a hand in putting his support staff together. Yeah. So if he felt good about them and they're in place and they prospered, I think that's a high possibility for them to go. And it's probably more than just one. I mean, Gerardo Boucher is a guy that we'd hear players talk about all the time. Now, he's more on the nutrition and science part of it than the day-to-day, but maybe that's an option. But there are guys other than Craig Fitzgerald, I think, that Jeremy Pruitt's going to look at as a possibility. I think that's the best thing. During this period of time, that would make the most sense and allow you to do it quicker if you do hire from within. If you do a big search during this period, how difficult is that going to be? Are people going to be willing to make the move? I think it gets trickier if you look on the outside.
And I would think a lot of it would be done with phone calls and Skype.
Right.
Skype's still a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Technology changes so fast. I'm just a Luddite. I hide. All right. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. My guess is, though, you stay internal. I think that would be the safest bet for the time being. Even if it's just we're going to give you a year to see what you can do, and You can always go out next year and bring somebody else if you need to, but just the situation with a short off season, trying to keep things the same, you're not going to have as much time with guys. To me, it makes sense to stay internal, which means by the end of the day, they'll have brought in somebody from BYU. All right. When we come back, Tennessee keeps a strength coach, or loses a strength coach, but they keep an assistant basketball coach. We'll talk about Kim English staying at Tennessee and the positive news there. Come on back on the Sports Source.
Hey, when you're away from home, catch us on Facebook Live, our YouTube channel, or on sportsource.tv.
Let's do it.
This is the Sports Source.